Yeah, of course, my connection with Berlin is a very emotional one and a very long-standing one. I auditioned for Meister von Karajan in December of 1976, and subsequently, to my amazement, he started working with me from 1977 on until his death, which were another 13 years of collaboration, and we have recorded all the important violin repertoire, classic as well as romantic, with few exceptions, one of them being the Dvorak Concerto. And obviously today the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra is a different orchestra in terms of players. There are only two left from the last century, from my time with Karajan. And they have broadened their repertoire. They have changed. They had Abado as chef. They have Simon Rattle now as their relatively new chef. But going back to the orchestra and having not done a recording for 30 years, that is a coincidence, by the way, was just wonderful, because they are, without any doubt, one of the 4 or 5 most wonderful orchestras around the globe. And the intensity with which they play is something which is immensely inspiring for me as a soloist. I wasn't nervous auditioning for him because for me it was absolutely clear that he would send me home. So I was, in a positive sense, hopeless. I had nothing to lose, so I just played and was ready to go home and, move on with my little life. Standing next to him in the first rehearsals, I still remember, and looking back on it now, I understand what a wonderful pedagogue he was, because he started criticizing the orchestra here and there, didn't say a thing to me. I was just left, playing. And I thought, this is interesting, they are not perfect either. And he very cleverly set the grounds to a wonderful collaboration where he was always very careful, also in selecting repertoire. He would suggest I should practice and study with him, and of course with my wonderful violin teacher, Ida Stucki. So I did never feel the need to be nervous, because after all, I was trying my very best, and it seemed to be, he seemed to go along with that. I do remember, though, also that before we went on stage for the first concert in Salzburg in 1977, he asked me if I was nervous, and I said no. And maybe for the only time in our 13 years together on stage, I saw some kind of surprise in his face. But it wasn't meant cold-blooded, it just was the way it was. I felt comfortable with him. But I was a total zero at the age of 13. I had almost no knowledge of repertoire. I had certainly great instincts and probably a certain gift to play the violin. But he was a guiding light in every aspect of life. And I had other guiding lights who have shown me that there has to be a life outside of music which is meaningful for society. Otherwise, you become too egocentric, and life cannot be only evolving around you perfecting your skills. So one of my other shining guiding lights was my priest, actually, who baptized me, and he has all these homes built for people with special needs and old people, and that in a time in the 50s and 60s, where that was not really politically so outspokenly what one would necessarily immediately do. So my interest in teaching and doing benefit work for organizations and just for people who are living in the shadow of our society has given my life a meaning which, being only on stage perfecting my skills, wouldn't have otherwise. My message concerning music in all of our lives is that it's such a wonderful island you can visit for yourself and share with others, full of beauty and retreat, where you find elevation to a certain degree. It is a language which embraces us all, no matter what cultural or religious roots we have. It is really all embracing, and it's beautifying. And it is a humbling process to learn an instrument, which is always good in life. And it's fun to do with others or just for others. And I'm always happy to see young people in a concert, because there are different kinds of music around, and I would wish that classical music would be more accepted as one of the many wonderful and important kinds of music. But we have been somehow put on a pedestal which needn't be there. Of course, knowledge is never hurt, and knowing about music will deepen your understanding. But at the end of the day, music hits you right in your heart, and you just need to take the time and listen. You know, Socrates used to say, without music, dance, and literature, you cannot be a human being. And in a way, you know, it does contribute to the refinement of maybe human understanding of different cultures, different ideas to lead a life, emotions, empathy. All of that is enhanced, particularly by music and music making together. I hope that the audience realizes what a wonderful orchestra they have, what a great tradition Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra is holding up, and what an outstanding hall you are having. It's a little large, so we need lots of music lovers to come in order to really experience with us together how unique it is here in Cincinnati. And music lives from, you know, both sides, from the musicians as well as from the audience. So I do hope that the audience gets infected by the passion of the orchestra and every single member of them. Really, that rehearsal, that first rehearsal we had, was very invigorating, because many new details had to be musically discussed, not verbally. So yeah, there are always surprises, and I love being musically surprised. You know, it's for me a challenge when I go to a concert of a colleague. I really have to carve out time, and but if it is a concert where you are lucky enough to witness music being rediscovered, then it is a great gift. Let's be honest, there are boring concerts out there, no doubt about that. I have, you know, visited a few concerts where I thought I would rather now eat a pizza, you know, instead of sitting in the concert hall. But generally, I find it an incredible luxury that in theater or in any art which is performed particularly live at that very moment, that one could just buy a ticket, go there, sit and see people tear their heart out in love and dedication for what they are doing. So it is really a great gift to society to be able to have such a wonderful hall. An orchestra is playing for the audience, and carving out these 2 hours, I think they will, you know, they will be gilded hours.